Hi Aries, it's Majori here from the Punk Priestess, and welcome to your February Tarotscope for 2022. So I'm just cleansing here with some Palo Santo, and then I also used my amazing Florida water that's available in my shop. So before we get into the spread, I have a mixture of oracle decks, astrology, as well as tarot. So we're just going to be mixing and matching. And I like to start off with a signifier. So it's just kind of like the main energy that's happening for us, and we're gonna get into it. Almost fell out of my hand there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So what I have here is the Five of Swords upright. Try to get this in focus for you. Come on. There we go. Five of Swords upright, and then I have love here. So this is a lot of mental stuff going on, and this is just kind of like you're mentally putting yourself in a bind. And we don't like to see the fives upright because this is a lot of discouragement. It's a lot of kind of disagreement and things like that. And it's just, you know, for you, like in terms of matters of love and relationships, it's like, where does your heart want to belong? And like, what are you mentally thinking about these people in these relationships? Like, maybe you don't want to commit to anyone. Maybe you just don't feel inspired or connected to any of the energy that is kind of circulating you right now when it comes to romantic relationships. And also maybe you don't really feel like you can trust what these people say or what they think and how they show up. And it's like one thing, but then it's like another. So you're kind of like conflicted and just, you're not really sure kind of what to think and what to believe. You just kind of know like you need maybe some space or some separation. And you just also, like, when it comes to love, you want it to be an exchange. You want your heart to be in it. And like with this energy, it's like your mind's just not really in it. And the words you're saying, that where you're expressing yourself, it's just like not, you know, really towards a loving energy. And, you know, if you are in love, if you are like in a relationship and stuff, it's like, how is the communication? How is the dynamic? How are you expressing yourself vocally? And are you being heard? Are you being understood? You know, are they comprehending like what your needs are, what you're expressing yourself as? And are you giving them that same benefit of the doubt? Are you showing up? Are you, you know, letting them come to you in acknowledgement of expressing themselves and what they want and what they need from you? So it's just definitely like there's a lot of mental stuff, a lot of mental conflict, kind of thinking about what was brought up during the Mercury retrograde. What were you thinking? Maybe now you're actually seeing things for what they are. You know, you were kind of like blindsided or shadowed a little bit, and now you're like, you know what? I've had so much emphasis, and like I really thought this was going to go in this direction, but it's actually, you know, my thoughts have changed, my ideas have changed, my mind has changed. So it's really thinking about, you know, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to matters of the heart, like where is your mind in that? Are you in it or are you out of it? Do you want to like still connect and speak with these people, or are you like, you know what, I actually am not super interested? Or maybe you are, but it's just like there's a lot of confliction and you don't know if they're interested. So there's just like a lot of gray area coming through with this energy. Okay, so definitely some strong messages coming here. So I'll show you what I pulled and then we'll walk it through. So I have the King here, the King of Wands upright. I have the Seven of Swords upright. And then I have the Nine of Wands upright. So there's definitely some deception in the mist. And it's like, you know, this person who, you know, you thought that you could rely on, you can trust, you know, maybe it's like someone that you were putting on a pedestal and you're like, okay, this person's amazing. And if this isn't romantic, this is just like maybe a friend, maybe this is like with work situations or just like people in your life, and you held them at like a high regard, and now you're like, you know what? I'm actually seeing like another side to them, and I'm not sure if I really trust what I see. And you know, a lot of that is like not only seeing, but like mentally what you're, you know, putting like the puzzle pieces together. And like the you know, the picture that you're forming is like, you know what, I don't know if this person's trustworthy, I don't know if this person's in it, I don't know if I want to build anything substantial with this person, if they're going to act shady, or if I can't trust them, or if like communication isn't good, or if there's like this underlying like form of deceit happening. So it is kind of like from the universe, like pay attention to what's happening here with this energy. It's like, do you feel like someone's pulling a fast one on you? Do you know this whole side of the story, or are you just getting a glimpse, an illusion of it? And also it's like Pisces energy with this Jupiter transit. So it is kind of like muddling your perception and the reality of the situation, because it might feel like you just want to focus on the good aspects of this person, or remember them for how you know them to be, but then they've changed, and like really thinking about the emotional layers of a relationship, of connection. And a lot of us have Venus and Pisces present. So it is definitely like really kind of trying to be discerning between, you know, how is this person really in reality, and then how is this person really in, you know, my fantasies. Like how are they in reality, how are they in my fantasy, and like does it match up, you know, or like how are they in reality compared to like my perception of them, my experience with them, because they could be showing you one side and then like, you know, can be someone else. And the Nine of Wands is coming up here, is like there's a lot of work and like energetic work that needs to be done, and like you're kind of like figuring it out. Like this is like not, I don't want to say like a spy, but it's like you're an investigator. You're like investigating the situation. You're like, okay, you know, is this person like true to who they are? Is this their morals? Is this like their social standing, their, you know, soul standing? Or, you know, am I getting played? Am I getting like carried around? So that's kind of like where this is here, because it's like the story is not done. Like you're still building, like you're trying to figure out the clues. You're trying to find the whole, we're trying to put together the whole puzzle and really see what's going on, because, you know, you don't really know. And I think that's also part of the mental frustration, is like you don't really know who this person is, or you don't really know if what they're telling you is the truth. You don't know if you can trust them, because you don't have too much experience probably with them, or, you know, you want to believe this is love. You want to believe this is a committed relationship, but you also don't want to be a fool. You don't want to be blindsided. So you have to protect your heart. Okay, so I'm pulling here. I'll show you, then we'll go through. Beware nostalgia. I can get you to focus. That would be amazing. There we go. It kind of came. Sorry. I'll take pictures of these, but I have the new iPhones. I'm trying to figure out this mode. It's kind of hard. So beware nostalgia. God is a goddess. And then I have far out. There. We have it for a second. There we go. Far out. Okay, so let's start with beware nostalgia. Kind of what I was talking about. It's like putting this person on a pedestal, you know, thinking that they're one way because your mind, it's nostalgic. Like you are reflecting back on the past. Maybe the Mercury retrograde really brought you back to like feelings that you had with them that were very sentimental and very, you know, beautiful and good and nurturing. But then it's like, oh my gosh, you know, is this how they really are? Is this the reality? Are they really, you know, this amazing person that they showed me they were? Is that how they are every time? Or are they this way to someone else? And it's kind of like, you know, beware nostalgia, because sometimes we get so involved in our past and like feelings, you know, especially like very like Pisces, Venus, you know, placements that some of us Aries have. We get very like caught up in the past, and it like becomes like this cloud over what's really going on of our lives. And we have to sometimes pull ourselves out of that, because it distracts our vision forward, because we're like trying to make the past a reality in a sense, you know, like we're trying to have elements and layers from the past and bring it forward into the present and then try to create a future with it. So we have to be very mindful that, you know, some of this stuff just belongs in the past. It doesn't mean it's tools to build with. It's tools to reflect on. And it's, you know, it is nice sometimes to have nice memories about people that we associated with in the past, but it doesn't mean that's the current reality. And that doesn't mean that that's still who they are. And maybe that never was, you know, who they were, with the 7 of Swords coming through here. So we have to be discerning, and God is a goddess. And we have to remember that, you know, we are, worthy of looking out for. We have to have our own like self-interest at heart. We have to self-preserve ourselves. We have to have self-preservation. We have to be protective of our heart, of our energy, because we are a God, and God, goddess, however you want to say it. And it's like we have to act accordingly. We have to act as if we are almighty powerful, because we are, and we have to hold people up to certain standards. We can't just be lenient because we like them, or because we think that they're this person, or we think that they changed or whatever. We have to uphold our standards. We have to think like, you know, I'm a god, I'm a goddess. This type of behavior can't fly by me, or I won't accept this type of energy. You know, we have to have those boundaries, and we have to act accordingly. And that's a lot of things to protect us from the 7 of Swords energy penetrating our shield. So, you know, kind of think about that when you're like thinking about this person or this energy, or you're like confused, you're conflicted about what to think, what to believe. It's like, you know, who are they? You know, who are they to be worthy of you? And who are they to be, you know, able to be in your presence? And, you know, are they worthy enough to even breathe the same air as you? You know, you got to think about that. Or are they just someone that you met and they were cool, but you don't really know them, and then you don't really know if they're shady, you know? So it's like, think about those things. And then the 9 of Wands, like far out here coming through. If I could get you, yes, far out. You know, it is kind of like, is this a far out idea that you're putting like all these pieces together? Like there's all this work and time and energy that you're putting into this person or these people or situations, whatever. Like, is it actually worth the effort? You know, is it just a far out form of a distraction? Is it like just super far out to think that this can be a reality, you know, with this person? It might just be a little too like out of your league, and it's just like, you know what, maybe it's just like not even worth it anymore. Maybe you got to just think about like, how is this distracting me? How is this benefiting me? Or is it just like a far out crazy scenario I'm coming up with because I'm bored, or, you know, I'm stuck in the past with this nostalgia energy, and I feel like there's a way, there's a will. And it's like, well, maybe there really isn't one. Maybe it's just like, you know, enjoy the fantasy, but, you know, have a time limit. Like, get yourself out, you know? Okay. So I'm pulling some astrology, and then I'm pulling one more tarot card here. Okay, so very strong energy coming through. I'm pulling the Queen of Wands reversed, and then I'm pulling the 11th house. So we'll start with the 11th house. So this energy, this is Aquarius energy. We're in Aquarius right now. And, you know, this is definitely thinking about people, thinking about groups of people. Do we want to associate with these people? Do we want to associate with this type of energy? Is it compatible, or does it cause anxiety? Is it anxious, you know, driven energy? And also, like, do we feel an alien within the proximity of this energy? Do we feel like we connect, or do we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm weird, this person doesn't, you know, connect with me, you know, we're not seeing eye to eye, communication's not that great, I don't know if I can trust them, I think they're awesome, but also it's like, am I building something out of imaginary bricks? You know, there's like a lot going on here with this 11th house, which is why the way out of this, Aries, is to focus on your goals. Focus on what you can build. Like, how do you build your own empire? And you kind of have to do this sometimes, this work alone, if you can't trust some of the people that you're building with. You know, it's like sometimes you have to take measures into your own hands, which we do very well, but we have to take measures into our own hands and just continue persevering on our own, because we can't really trust collective energy right now. And that's totally fine. You know, if we're waiting for answers, if people aren't communicating well, if, you know, there's still a lot of this Mercury retrograde, shadow stuff coming through, like, it is definitely kind of saying, like, are these people who you want to continue having, like, in your, you know, in your coven? Do you still want to bring them to the party, you know? Or is it like, you know what, I don't really appreciate the uncertainty and the wishy-washiness. I don't think it's worth my time and energy. And that's where the Queen of Wands reversed comes here for. It's like, you know, it's affecting your own self-esteem. This, like, incompatibility, or just like this waiting, this like uncertainty, it's just like affecting you because you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like, why am, you know, these people not responding to me? Why don't I have what I need? Why do I not feel like this is how a loving, you know, friendship or a relationship should be, you know? And it's just like, when we don't receive the love that, when it's, the love is not reciprocal, and the care, the nurturing, the response is not reciprocal, that's when we have to pull away. And that's when the Queen of Wands has to leave the party. Like, she was the cool girl at the party. Everyone wanted to be friends with her. But then it's like, she finally realized that, you know, these people at the party is just surface level. They just want to be in your energy just so it can you know, impact them. But they don't really care, you know? And I feel like that's kind of why this reversal is happening, is like, and the King of Wands is like, are you going to submit to this energy? Are you going to submit to this uncertainty? And this person who might be, or these people who might just be taking you for a ride, they don't really have pure intentions, and their intentions aren't, you know, anything worthwhile, you know? So it is kind of the Queen of Wands, you know, leave the party, come home to yourself, like, spend time in your own energy, focus on your own goals. And if people want to be a part of it, they have, you know, to understand that you're a goddess. You don't play around. If you're on board, you're on board. But, you know, don't try to force yourself to be in anyone's energy that's not reciprocal and that's not, you know, really benefiting you in any way, just causing you stress, worry, and it's just dragging on, you know? It's not a way to move forward. It's just distraction energy, and it just kind of really shows who's serious in your life, who really wants to be around you, and then who doesn't. And you have to cut accordingly. So that is the Tarotscope for Aries for February. And if you want a personal reading with me, definitely head over to the link in my bio. I have readings on sale right now, and I also have a lot of awesome trinkets and spell candles and other magic available in my shop as well. So definitely check that out, and subscribe to my channel, and check out my podcast. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.